Dhaulagiri is a fearsome, imposing mountain located in the Himalayas in west-central Nepal. Standing at a height of 8,167 meters at its summit, it is the seventh highest mountain in the world and one of only 14 mountains on the planet reaching an altitude of over 8,000 meters. Dhaulagiri is also notably the highest mountain in the world within the borders of a single country, as the 6 mountains taller than it are all sluiced by borderlines. Dhaulagiri is renowned for its fearsome, awe-inspiring slopes, as the peak is home to some of the world's steepest terrain, notably the Dhaulagiri Gorge, which splits Dhaulagiri on its southeast side from the Annapurna Range, is considered to be the world's deepest gorge if one measures the summits of the peaks on each side from the height of the riverbed itself. The steep slopes, while obviously serving as a falling hazard to summit hopefuls, also are frequently home to massive avalanches that unrelentingly sweep enormous amounts of snow and debris to its feet regularly. However, despite these hazards, much like Cho Oyu and Manaslu, which I covered in other videos on the channel previously, Dhaulagiri is considered to be one of the easier 8,000 meter peaks to climb, and its relatively convenient location, just roughly 50 miles outside the city of Kathmandu, makes Dhaulagiri a fairly popular summit for mountaineers seeking to add to their Himalayan and 8,000er climbing experience. However, much like any of the 8,000 meter peaks, a high level of preparation, along with a strong physical and mental fortitude, are necessities for any summit hopefuls that wish to reach the top and return home with their lives intact. Dhaulagiri was first summited on May 13, 1960, by a Swiss-Austrian expedition party that managed to reach the summit via the northeast ridge of the mountain, which would go on to become the standard route of ascent for most mountaineers that simply sought to summit the mountain without extra added challenge. However, the steep eastern and southeastern faces of the mountain would prove to be a draw to more seasoned, skilled, and challenge-hungry mountaineers that sought to conquer the mountain from its more foreboding faces. However, the mountain's most imposing face, the south face, features a dramatic, concave face that quickly drops off over 4,000 meters in altitude, and it is lined with huge, frequently fracturing seracs. Furthermore, the south face also features a 300-meter band of very dangerous loose rocks at approximately 7,000 meters altitude, and as of the making of this video, a successful ascent has not been made entirely on the south face, although an ascent of the south face up to the rock band at 7,000 meters was completed in 1999, and thus a successful complete ascent of the south face is one of mountaineering's few remaining holy grail climbs. And if you're looking for the holy grail of VPNs, look no further than the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. NordVPN is a virtual private network that helps keep your privacy protected online by routing your internet traffic through one of 5,900 servers in 59 different countries to choose from, which hides your online fingerprint from being tracked by websites and by your internet service provider. For those who are particularly security focused, Nord offers a bevy of specialty servers to choose from to further increase your privacy online. Their Onion servers are optimized for high-speed .onion traffic, and they also offer special double VPN servers that route your online traffic through 2 separate servers to further hide your online fingerprint. Even if you aren't too concerned about your digital footprint, you can still benefit from using NordVPN. Using a VPN will also allow you to access content that may be blocked or unavailable in your region, such as the regionally variable shows available for viewing on Netflix. You can also stream all these shows at ease, knowing that NordVPN also encrypts your data so your internet provider won't be able to throttle your streaming speeds. With top-notch download and upload speeds and a bevy of great extra features, you really can't top NordVPN when it comes to virtual private networks. In celebration of NordVPN's 11th birthday, go to nordvpn.com/morbidmidnight to get the 2-year plan with an exclusive deal, plus 1 bonus month free, and a bonus gift. It's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/morbidmidnight to get the 2-year plan with an exclusive deal, plus 1 bonus month free and a bonus gift. Thanks so much to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. In October of 2001, the autumn climbing season on Dhaulagiri was in full swing as several expeditions sought to reach the summit before the brutal Himalayan wintertime rolled in. One of these expeditions was a Spanish expedition team, which was attempting the standard northeast ridge route to the summit. By the morning of October 12th, the Spanish team had made solid progress up the mountain and were poised to reach the summit later that day. As they were pushing for the summit along the steep summit ridge, one member of the team, a man named Jose Antonio Garces, who was an experienced mountaineer who had just come off a successful summit of K2 over the summertime, slipped. He was unable to arrest his fall on the steep summit ridge and fell to his death from an altitude of approximately 8,050 meters. As his body had tumbled down the steep ridge to a dangerous, rather inaccessible area of the mountain, no attempt to recover it was made. Jose Antonio Garces would mark the first fatality of several more yet to come in the following few days. Another expedition team with summit ambitions that season was a Japanese expedition team that had split into 2 groups. The first group would be attempting the much more formidable and challenging east face of the mountain. The eastern face team consisted of 4 men named Hideji Nazuka, Masashi Fukumoto, Ryushi Hoshino, and Yukihiko Shinagawa. All 4 men were highly skilled and experienced mountaineers, with Nazuka having summited 9 of the 14 8,000ers and completed the first winter ascent of the southwest face of Mount Everest. However, a wrench was thrown in the original plan when, while acclimatizing on the northeast ridge, Nazuka decided to forego the original eastern face attempt and decided to instead make a solo push for the summit from there. Nazuka summited Dhaulagiri on October 11th and immediately descended and left the mountain behind. And thus, on the morning of October 12th, the second team watched the remaining trio of men in the eastern face team depart from their base camp, carrying with them enough supplies to last them approximately 3 days. Progress up the massive, looming eastern face was slow, and the team at base camp observed the trio bivvy for the night. The next morning, the trio again were observed making slow progress up the face, and by that evening, the evening of October 13th, they were again observed bivvying for the night. On the morning of October 14th, the 3 climbers were again observed making extremely slow and labored progress up the mountain, and as one of the second team's members noted of the trio on the eastern face, quote, "They were moving very slowly, were very tired, and not in good condition," he said. At approximately 10 a.m., the team at base camp received a radio transmission from the trio that relayed that they were at an approximate altitude of just 6,400 to 6,500 meters. The trio simply had to make it to an altitude of 7,500 meters, where the second team had set and stocked a camp with supplies there for them. However, following this radio transmission, the East Face trio would never be seen or heard from again. On October 16th, the second team departed base camp for Kathmandu in order to send for rescue helicopters after hearing nothing from the missing men for 2 days. It took 8 days for a rescue and helicopter to be organized, and on October 24th, a search for the trio was conducted via helicopter. However, they were unable to find any trace of the missing mountaineers from the air. However, the rescue team did note that there was no sign of any avalanches, the most common killer on Dhaulagiri. Despite further combing the mountainside for any traces of them from the air, they were unable to spot any further evidence of the stricken climbers' fates. Following this disaster, their manner of death was speculated upon, as their fate would likely remain a mystery, as so many of the disappearances in the sport of mountaineering often do. A member of the second team in the Japanese expedition theorized that since there was no evidence of any avalanches on the east face, the only logical explanation for their deaths was that the exhausted climbers had probably made a mistake and fallen down the steep eastern face to their deaths. In the wake of their deaths, all 3 climbers, who were experienced and respected mountaineers within the Japanese mountaineering community, were mourned by many after their passing. What exactly transpired on Dhaulagiri slopes that fateful day, October 14th, 2001, that ultimately led to the men's deaths, still remains a mystery to this day. Thank you all for watching.